Show your support. Like and subscribe. Well guys, so we're here. I've been here since last night, as you guys saw in my last video, of course, and we're getting unloaded. So this is my very first time doing this. I don't even know if you can hear me on the video. We'll see how the audio comes out later, but anyways, we're parked in here. They've got me over the grate here. Everything is emptying out on the bottom. And this run I'm doing what's called chicken meal. Simple fine grit, like sand-like product. And they filled up the hoppers. And now I'm here over the grate and it's just emptying out. So I did ask if I was allowed to film. They said, you know, don't really show too much, but that's my sneak peek for you. So we'll talk later on about more stuff. I'm in Kansas City right now, as you guys probably have seen in my last video. I got loaded here yesterday morning, actually yesterday afternoon. Left here to go out to my drop-off, and then about 155 miles in, they called up and said, Jay, they're not going to take it, bring it back over here. So the paperwork's going back and forth. We've got a number locked in, so I'm definitely getting paid for the load. But we're right here. I just pulled in a few minutes ago. We're getting unloaded. Got the hopper here is underneath, is actually right over the grate here, and I've opened up the bottom. Everything is pouring out. It's all draining out onto the bottom here. There's a grate on the floor, so all the product is flowing right out of the hopper, going down into the grate. That's how this is pretty much done from my understanding. Like I said in my last video, this is my very first time doing this, so I'm learning as I go here. But we'll see how the rest of the day goes. It is pouring out here. Let me, there you go. So it's been a very rainy morning, so not the best for me, but I think we have another load. So I'm gonna get on the phone with Mitchell in a little bit, and I'll talk to him, and we'll see what's going on. We'll see where our next load is and where the next set of money is, because we need to get paid for something. I'll see you guys in a little bit. So let's just call a spade here and say that it's been a very, very long week. Anyways, guys, happy Friday. I hope it's a really good payday for you. But it's not the best payday for me. Yeah, I've made a little bit of money this week, but I definitely didn't break even. I didn't come even close, but guys, it's just been a really crazy week. I'm going to go ahead and quote Murphy's Law on this and say that if there was something here that could go wrong, it definitely did go wrong. Let's take you guys back to Monday when we picked up the trailer up in Nebraska. I had my first 3 loads were already set, so I wasn't even slightly worried about what this week was going to be paying, because I knew that at the end of the week I was ending somewhere around $7,500, which made me really, really happy, and I felt really good going into this week. Load number 1 though was screwed it all up. Which, guys, hey, you know what? In this industry, I know a lot of guys have had this stuff happen. Things go wrong. Things don't always go as planned. Nothing is set in stone, although it's on a piece of paper and you've signed your signature to it. Nothing is ever set. So anyways, what happened was I picked up my trailer Monday. I headed down to Kansas City, and I picked up in Kansas City on Tuesday. I was supposed to be going to Clinton, Oklahoma, which is about 418 miles, and it was paying me, if you want to look at just the loaded miles, I'd be making somewhere in the $2.87 range, but like I want to include the deadhead miles coming from up near Omaha, Nebraska, on down that way. If I included all of those miles, I'd be somewhere around $2, which isn't that bad, but for the sake of just the loaded miles there at $2.87, that's actually a pretty good load, especially for the very first one. I was pretty happy with that. especially because it got me to the next load, which then would get me to the big paying money load. And that one was paying quite a bit. I haven't done the math on that one anyways, but still, that one was the one I wanted to get to. But what happened here was I pick up in Kansas City, I get on the road, start heading over to Oklahoma, and I'm about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours into the trip, and I get the phone call that Oklahoma, they either can't take the product from Kansas City, or they don't have enough room for the product, like they didn't sell enough that prior week, so they needed to cancel their order, but the order went through anyway. Whatever it might be, whatever the logistics are, it's not my concern at this point. They needed the stuff taken back to Kansas City, so I had to turn around, go back to Kansas City. And see, now this is the kicker, because I've had this happen before. I had this happen while I was doing hot shotting, and I had a load that I picked up, and I got just about to the other end to deliver, and then I got the call that the load was wrong, and I had to take it back and then get reloaded and take that. In this instance, I didn't get anywhere close to the other side, and they knew it because they had called me within about an hour and a half of me leaving. So when it came time to argue the prices and everything to make sure I get paid for the job, their argument was that I was only an hour and a half, 2 hours max into this trip. So I was about 155 miles in total into the trip, which on the way back, 310 miles total. I was trying to get the full payment, plus the full payment for the trip back, plus a payment for losing the next one, whatever it might be. I was trying to get a lot more money out of this because, hey, once you're off the lot and you're on your way, guys, that's it. You're paying for the whole thing. Well, they argued with me for a little while. I talked to a few of my friends who have had stuff like this happen. When I had this happen before, I got paid for the full trip there, the full trip back, the full trip back again. So I got paid 3 times the original price for the job. And then I also got detention time and stuff as well, some extra fuel mileage. So that ended up paying me around $6,500 last time. But because I was only a little bit in, they paid me $1,000, and it took up a day and a half, basically almost 2 days of my time. So I didn't really get as much as I wanted for it, but at $1,000 in being, 310 miles total there and back, that comes out to about $3.23. So I'm not arguing with that too bad, because I got an okay rate when you consider the fuel that I used and the miles that I actually drove. But that's a problem for me in this industry. But anyways, let's move on from that. After that, I picked up in Pratt, Kansas. So I had a little bit of deadhead. I think it was about 4 hours or so of driving to get over to Pratt, Kansas. And now I am in Nacogdoches, Texas. It's a industrial area. Not much I can say for that. But anyways, Nacogdoches is, you got Shreveport and then Houston, and I'm like right in the center there. So I'm about to make my drop off. And after I make the drop off, and you know what? Actually, we'll do that on the next video. We'll talk about what I'm making for this load in the next video, because I didn't even write that stuff down on here. But from here, I have to go over to another area in Texas called Rice, Texas, and then I'm picking up and I'm heading to up near Erie, Pennsylvania. So I'm going all the way up near the Canada border. So it's going to be a long weekend driving up that way. It'll be nice to get the truck up into the mountains and stuff, see how this thing performs with 50K on the rear. And then I'll have some more info on that, my experience driving in that. I will say right now, though, that driving this, having never done this before, never really driven a semi with this kind of weight and everything, coming out of something like Hot Shot, it's a very, very, very big change. I know I said very a lot of times there. I need you to understand it's a huge change, and if you've never done this before, you might you might be considered a Swift driver. I'm joking. I'm not a Swift driver at all, but it's like I'm a brand new driver into this, so there's a huge learning curve here, and I've kind of thrown myself right into the middle of it. So has it been hard? No, it has not been hard, but I will say that driving down the road yesterday in the storms and stuff, having the wind blow my truck back and forth, and then the cab, because its air is leaning sideways because the wind is so tough, that was interesting. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go on that. That's just a really quick update of where we're at. So far, we've made $3.23 a mile for my very first load. So I'm happy on that as far as the rate goes, but not with the end price. This load going into next week, we're going to close out the very first week. I'm going to call it next Monday or Tuesday I should be delivering. So we're going to go from like Tuesday to Tuesday. So there's 3 loads here. The one I did, this one now, and then the one I'm picking up in Rice. So one of my next videos, or the next time I go over the numbers and everything, will include the very first week there, that first bracket, and we'll go over what we've actually made. And yeah, I'll give you guys some more information there on our loaded miles, our total miles, and you know what our rates are. So anyways, with that said, guys, everybody have a really, really great weekend. I hope you all have a very safe weekend. I'm going to be leaving from Rice, Texas, on the way up toward Erie, Pennsylvania. So if you guys want to check out where I'll be and see if you're in the area, want to meet up, do lunch or something Saturday or Sunday whenever I do my reset, let's do lunch somewhere. Anyways, that's what I got for you right now. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys, as always, on the next one. Bye.